I've just added you into my recommendations on my channel.
Yep. I thought that as us live now. Right. And I think that is...
You're live, mate.
You bet live, yeah. Got a little bit of delay. So, hello everyone. Welcome to this sort of new live stream. Slightly late. I know it's not good fashion for soldiers, especially infantry soldiers, but I have had a lot of technical issues. If you could just jump into the sort of comments and just let me know quickly if you can see Smudge. Now, I've got him here on the laptop because I cannot get him into the sort of broadcasting software. So I don't know if he's fully on the screen, but if you could just please let me know if you can see him. Then the conversation we're going to have, yes, it's not ideal, but it's good for tonight. Can see and hear him, so happy days. Cool, so a little bit of introduction then to the live stream. What it is then is sort of like a guest thing. Smudge himself used to do it. I'm going to bring for a guest sort of one a week. They've either serving still or they've got out and they're veterans, and just a little bit interesting stuff about their lives. Find out what they think on life of service and what they're getting up to now. So Smudge, if you don't already know him, which you probably will, because a lot of you will be coming over from there, is serving, also a sergeant, and he runs MKR, Military Kit Review, and he's reviewing all the best sort of aftermarket kit, ally kit, and it's exactly what everyone loves. So Smudge, welcome, and thank you very much for being the very first guest on the show.
Thanks for having me. How's it going?
I am all good, apart from this sort of technical difficulties we're having. So for you viewers as well, my camera's here, Smudge is here, so it's looking like we're speaking in the room. All sort of, yep. So
I mean, the thing is that I giggle about this is the fact that I know how this feels because I've done it before, mate. So I hear you.
Oh, nightmare. If anyone watching is all over OBS and stuff, please get in touch privately after theirs, because I do not want this to happen every single week. So, Smudge, how's it going? And so, how's isolation treating you in these times?
Yeah, I'm well, mate, thanks. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm really well. Actually, I'm good, mate. Isolation's crap, obviously, but there's a reason why we're doing it. My missus and my boy went down with COVID-19, I think. Can't definitely tell you, mate, because obviously I haven't got a test or anything like that. But I've just been in isolation, mate, like properly in isolation. So I moved my bike earlier on that you saw, and I've just been on that, mate. Obviously cutting about with kit reviews, bud. How are you?
Good as well. Obviously, I've had to move back. I moved back into here again with my family to England because of this whole sort of isolation stuff. And I'm currently in a sort of Disneyland Wonderland. I'm not going to move the camera to show you because I'd like to get it all set up. But I'm basically in some kind of flipping wardrobe now to get all this sort of squared. But so, as we've all seen probably on Instagram Live and stuff, you like to get on the bike. Is that the sort of main bit of fizz you're going for in this times of isolation? Is that how you're staying on top of fizz?
I mean, yeah, good question. So no, but in the isolation piece in here, yeah, I mean, it's either that, sit-ups, press-ups, and then my tree in the back garden, pull-ups. But yeah, other than that, mate, that is all I'm doing because I can't go for a run. I've got a £280 set of trainers over here, mate. That's some geezer who can run a marathon, mate. Broke records with. I want to get them out and give them a good burning, but I can't go yet, mate.
Yeah, got you. I feel for you. It's like I've only just started running again there, literally. I was doing. You ever heard of Insanity?
Yeah, I've heard of the old Insanity, mate.
Insanity. Yeah. Oh yes, I got amongst it last year in Afghan and just got addicted to it. Doing it down in the living room downstairs. But today I actually went a run and it's good to get outside. Don't want to rub it in with you now because you can't get outside at the minute. But it is gleaming to get back out in the sunshine and stuff, especially this good weather.
Yeah, agreed.
So what I want to jump into then is just a little bit on you, as in your experiences military-wise. So why you joined and that sort of stuff. So just a bit of info on just why you joined up.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, guys, I see there's 57 people in the chat. Wowzers. All for me and you, bud. So welcome, guys. How's it going? I joined the army, mate, because I think first and foremost I was about as intelligent as as this desk that I'm sitting next to now, and I didn't really have a lot else that I could do, to be honest with you, mate. I mean, I was in and out of trouble as a kid, nothing incriminal, so to speak, but like all of us, mate, we have a certain calling in life. I was at school, year 11. The army came in. This is the school that I went to after I was expelled. The army came in, did a PowerPoint presentation, so to speak. And before I knew it, mate, I was blown away with seeing blokes kick doors down and going in there gun ho. So I thought, that's me. That is my calling.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a rough time. I wasn't the fittest of blokes. My old man, he was the guy really that got me in, mate, to the army. I mean, couldn't really pass a PFA, so we set out. I didn't know at the time. I only found out recently, and I always thought it. Bloody hell, this mile and a half run's a long mile and a half run. So I was running a mile and a half, but it was 2 miles, not a mile and a half run. And when you're 15, 16 years old, you ain't got a clue. You don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was really my calling, mate, to the army, to be fair.
So you're saying about your dad helping you with the phys side of stuff. Was your dad serving then? Is he sort of that sort of family part pulled you in, or was he just the one to give you a kick up the arse to get in?
Yeah, so he was serving.
Okay,
he wasn't serving when I was alive. He got out because of me, actually. Yeah, I mean, he gave me the kick up, mate, to be honest with you, getting fit. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in the army, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, cool, happy days. Because sometimes it's like, because for a lot of people on the way now, especially, anyone in the corps, obviously not direct towards you, but specifically infantry regiments within the British Army, we have that sort of family tie bond, and some people do have that sort of pulling factor. But like yourself there, in fact, I was slightly different. I didn't have the intentions of joining the army during school and that. But like you said, same thing as you, where school wasn't my thing. The academic side of life was definitely not my thing, as you can probably tell why this sort of live stream is sort of piled in as such technical issues. But like, I came in and it was, I'd done loads of trades, all on Civvy Street. Kept getting sacked out of all. I've basically done every single trade you could do. Was getting binned off them. And it turned down to, I was in tech, so in Northern Ireland, it's like tech is like it's like a college you go to after school, if you haven't had good grades. And the sort of the principal equivalent there looked at me and says, like, what are you going to do? You're going to be nothing to life. And I actually looked in between him, and there's a poster said, it was the old ones, army be the best. Seen that there. And I'm going to go for the army. I had no intentions of going for the army. It was to get him off my back and my dad off my back. Walked out of there, and my dad said, this was summertime, he says, so what are you going to do? And it's like, I'm actually going to join the army. He's like, okay, happy days then. So in my eyes, that just kept all these people off my back and let me continue to just be an asshole and do what I was doing. September then came, and away I went. I haven't looked back since. So yes, but you could say I fell in this sort of job role by accident. So what we want to come on to now then is, so the main thing, military review. So mainly, so start off on you. What did you start off on YouTube, or which?
So believe it or not, mate, where military kit review come from was I was in Belize, and I've always liked kit, and I've always spent quite a lot of money on kits.
Yeah.
I was in Belize. I'd come towards the end of my exercise in the trees and the sticks, and I was saying to one of my fellow mess members, one of my muckers, colour boy. I said, mate, wouldn't it be good to be able to you're going to go and purchase something like a set of webbing and know the ins and outs on that set of webbing, the good points, the bad points. The things that you want to know in terms of waist size and that you don't necessarily know when you're purchasing something.
Yeah.
But you're able to have this, but it's from somebody credible, first and foremost, and second, it's an honest review, but you can see the person talking. How many times have you gone onto a website and you've seen somebody they've written an essay about some kit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You just can't. You just haven't got that honesty in there. So that's what did it. And for a lot of people that know that are obviously watching, I didn't just do that. I then started doing other things like helping people join the army and get people on from different avenues in that sense.
Yes, I think so. What you touched on there with the helping people join up, I think that's gleaming like nowadays, especially like you're saying. Because how long have you served now? You about 14, 15 years as well, 15.
So I've been in since 2003.
3, right? Slightly
So
more
I've
than a
got
couple of years.
I've got about 9 years left. With then 12 maybe.
Yeah, got you. Right, okay. So, but like back then, there was nothing, was there? Like to help get into the army. I know there was obviously your normal recruiting adverts, but anything other than that, information like proper good from the ground up information was coming from the recruiter in the recruiting office. So just as you're touching on there about helping people join up, I think with all these sort of means and sort of social media and the way we have platforms, I think you used it really well. On getting people, because obviously I've seen all the sort of genuine questions and stuff whenever you used to post them on Instagram. So with that there then, with the sort of kit review, so we're going to come on that now, and what I do have is a few questions off Instagram, which were banged out in the stories earlier on.
Yeah.
Let me jump in here now. So obviously, a good percentage of them are going to be reference sort of kit. And here we go. Where's the comment? Because there's so many screens, I've got the phone, I've got you speaking, you hear, camera there. Right, let's jump back into this. So, Melter Kill, thanks. Oh, so I see you're on that anyway. You're keeping eyes on that.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. So
Happy days.
I'm saying hello to people, and there's also a few questions that have come in actually while you've been checking things.
Let's jump onto that then. So for everyone watching, you can see all the sort of equipment going on in here and the whiskey. So we'll jump through back into your questions. I did see one.
How did whilst you're checking? How did that Rangers go over in America?
Is this me? Yeah. So right,
yeah.
That all plugged in. So that was completely all. It was all set in stone, and you'll know yourself in the army getting things sort of squared. Something as big as that, it's a lot to do that. And all the work that was put in, all the sort of staff work by the officers. The main drive was my OC. He's not my OC now because he's moved on. But a lot of work with him and the Sergeant Major and people who are posted out there. He got all squared. He spoke to the Lincoln Ranger School. That was all squared. He then got the funding, which I think, which the officers would tell me is the hardest part to do on this side. So you got, I think it was £30,000 to £40,000 squared army side. Yeah. So it was all good to go. And then we were obviously then starting to run our own sort of training this side to make sure the guys who are wanting to go, we're going to not last one day and we'll get through most of the thing, if not all of it. And then the leadership changed in Ranger School, and then as that changed, apparently it all sort of fell through, and whatever way it was squared dropped off. Now the doors aren't fully shut on it, but at the minute it is. And in hindsight, looking at it now, with what's going on, we probably would have been flipping slugged out for about 2 or 3 weeks and then got pulled back because of what's going on now anyway.
Yeah.
But it is there, and I think it'd be good. To me, looking at it, because we started studying it, because we, when this was all happening, it was why we're out in Afghanistan, so there was Americans there, and speaking to them, it's basically like our, NCO Carter, seniors, all that there, just crammed into one with a lot of resources, like.
Yeah.
Who's that? So, I can never pronounce people's names properly, so forgive me if I'm wrong. So is it Mick 2018? Yay, my favourite 2 YouTubers. How about
that? Nice. Thanks, Paul.
There was one, so Philip Welsh tells Smudge hi from P. Welsh.
How's it going, buddy?
And there was another one I seen specifically. Someone spied the whiskey there. Yes. I'm not fully on lead, but I do like it at night time. A nice little straight whiskey. Can't beat it.
Question for both of you out there. Regiments in the army, apart from the ones you two are in, what are your favourite time? Mine is the Fusiliers.
So also his Fusiliers. So if you're on about regiments, so I'm saying regiments, then you're going to go infantry. I'm going to have to say Tigers, aren't I? Because we're on. But I think so. Now, closely working with other regiments, the other regiment I've closely worked with is Parachute Regiment, and that was when I very first joined up. The brigade I was in 16 Air Assault Brigade, so that is would be the only regiment that we've worked very closely with over the longest period of time. Obviously now coming out of that brigade, we've got in and around other sort of units, but I haven't really came across, I would obviously not mention it anyway, but like any like severely not great regiments. What about you? What's your sort of
Yeah.
you'll worked with more.
Yeah, I've worked with a few. I've worked with a few line regiments. I worked with 4 Rifles last year. Yeah, they were a decent regiment, really good, really good regiment, good set of lads. And I've been in a few regiments myself as well, haven't I? So things do change. And like mate, there's no such thing as bad regiments.
Yeah.
There's bad people. There's bad man management. So there's not. It's not so the fact that they're bad regiments. Every regiment has their day. I mean, the Parachute Regiment's a very good regiment. It's a prestigious regiment. It's not the oldest line infantry regiment out there.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's junior. It's most junior, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's one of the juniorest infantry regiments in the army, mate, or in the infantry, if I'm honest with you. Like I've always said before, when people have asked me, I've always said the Rangers, the Irish Rangers, and clearly the battalion that you're in now are a really good battalion. Your battalion, there was a guy in there called PJ. He trained me, mate, in Depot, who you'd know quite well because he was your regimental sergeant major.
Yeah.
So I've got nothing but admiration for that guy. I haven't got any favourite regiments.
Yeah.
I haven't, but there are good regiments out there.
Yeah, no, and 100%. From what obviously Smudge is saying there, all one big massive organisation. What I do like is what you're saying there about the regimental scheme. So the way I look at it, any big Star Wars fans out there, is how I see the sort of the American Army. So if you look at the sort of clone troopers in sort of Star Wars, where there's all this, they look the same. There's no sort of different identity to them whatsoever. And then you have in the the British Army, all these regiments have so much history. The line of history goes back, like, you're talking 300-400 years for some regiments, and we all have all our different identities in the way we go about things. So definitely British Army regimental wise, I think because they weren't they on about sort of testing sort of water with maybe scrapping the regimental sort of thing within the British Army, but like I don't know how you, but for me I don't really like that. What about yourself?
Yeah, excuse me, mate. Yeah, they were, mate. You're right. I don't like that. I think that the history that we have as an organisation, as regiments, I mean, there's a reason why people join certain regiments, and that's based on area, that's based on what your family's done, that's based on a lot of things, to be honest with you. And, I wouldn't be a fan of that, and I think there's history behind. First and foremost, people have died for these cap badges, and it's a big thing. It's a massive thing. Look at officers. A lot of officers join, especially for like cavalry and Royal Artillery. There's a prestigious thing about joining these regiments. It's a massive thing, mate, in my opinion.
So just as you're touching on there, slightly there with the officers, I just caught a question off my eye. It was a reference. Sandhurst from Alex. Just don't know if it's a subscriber, if you know him. An update on becoming going for Sandhurst selection. As well. It's something I've considered. And then you can go first. Yeah,
I was meant to go last year, but due to being deployed on operations, I was unable to do the divisional beat up.
Yeah.
And in order to go for Sandhurst, you have to do the divisional beat up. It helps you. It puts you in a better stead than not going for it. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to go, and I was unsuccessful this year for colour sergeant for promotion. So that was my first look. So next year, hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, and all that good stuff. I'll be successful. But yeah, I'm going to go next year for Sandhurst, I think.
Oh, you are going to go for it, are you?
Yeah, next year. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Happy days.
You can say you're going for it next year.
Say again.
You're going to say you're going for it next year.
No. Definitely. I don't know. I've seen lads who go for it. Who's that? Alex. They're going for it, and I don't know. the thought of going and no, it is a very good thing, and anyone going to Sandhurst is 100% as an instructor, because how I see Sandhurst is you're having a more of an influence on the wider organisation, because you are instructing. Because I've been an instructor in Catrick, and yeah, you know, and everyone knows whenever you first join the army, you'll always remember your very first instructor, and they get the, you know, the guys and girls you're going to be instructing in Sandhurst, you know, potentially could be flipping brigadiers, generals, you know, and then you've brought them into the army. The thing that holds me off about it is the Carter. I've watched people go on to it and what goes on it and this sort of stuff, and I don't know, it's not my scene.
I've obviously heard about certain things. You obviously speak to, you know, people that have instructed there as well from your battalions, but you know, it is what it is. And for me, mate, I mean, the way I saw this and the way I've always seen it, and I've always been this way. I want to put myself against the best. I want to develop myself. You know, every day is a learning day, and you know, I'm not scared of failure. I think in a sense that spurs me on more, really, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, I just want to give it a go, mate. It's always something I wanted to do, and if, like I said, I mean, I saw a question earlier on of any of you done anything like all arms commando course or Pathfinders, you know, or people. You know, I've done Pathfinders. I was originally going for 2 SAS. Believe it or not, I didn't really know much about Pathfinders, and then at this point, I've been in the army for nigh on, I don't know, 12, 13 years, give or take. It was in 2015. And I thought, you know what, I'll go and do the selection. The selection was 2 days. You get down there, welcome brief. You do a few things, you know, round robin type. This is our compound. This is our classrooms. This is how much money you're going to get paid. Following morning, you go out and do an 8-mile tab. But it's a ridiculous stinking 8-mile tab. Like, you know, I'm talking 1 hour 30, mate. It was rapid, yeah? Now, when you finish that, they then say to you, right, guys, you know, again, there are people that will fail it, obviously, but they say, right, guys, you know, look forward to the PF Express if you come down and do the actual selection. And it's faster, by the way. I mean, it's not faster. It's 1 hour 30, 35, you know, but they obviously put the fear of death into you. But so I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. So I went down for it. It's a 5-week selection. I got to week 4 and I got binned off range week for a couple of stupid things. You know, one of them was stupid, my fault. The second one, arguably, I don't agree with, but it doesn't really make a difference. But I mean, I wasn't afraid of failure. I did it. I've come off it. I'm proud of where I've got to. Not many people can get to week 4 of a grueling selection package such as that, and the rest is history, mate, as they say.
Yeah, and so for something like that there, so very arduous course. A lot of people do ask in, and obviously they're reflecting back to actually come into the army. What way do you sort of G yourself up mentally? So this, I know, because all of this sort of mental resilience piece. You know, obviously that's for an arduous course. You've been in quite, you know, you're an experienced soldier before you go there. How do you what the sort of stuff are you thinking to get you through there? And for anyone joining the British Army, so infantry, basic training, that's going to be their sort of equivalent. How could they sort of like make that sort of, like, what sort of stuff are they doing? Mental resilience wise? It's
funny you speaking about that and the mental resilience piece. You know, I don't know, mate. I just went down and did it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's, you know, I want to be able to give a word and say what actually it is that, you know, how can you, you know, people say a better piece is, you know, how do you train for it? Well, I can speak about that. Yeah. You know, there was a time actually on the selection where I thought, you know, fuck this, I've had enough of this, I can't be arsed with this. And it did, in truth it was. And I do like to think that I am mentally strong, but I don't know, we all have testing moments, don't we?
Yeah, 100%,
you know, there are always testing moments. And I think for something like that, I think firstly for this, it's about how much you want it, isn't it?
Yeah.
How much do you want it? You know, I wanted the army. I got into the army. Now, how much did you want Pathfinders? You know, yes, I got binned out for 2 safeties. And would I have stayed there to the end? Absolutely. No, definitely.
Yeah.
I've had moments in my time, even on seniors, where, like seniors is a shit course, as you know from yourself. The weather's disgusting. Your hands are freezing. The snow comes in. Then the rain just starts to come in and make your day even more fantastic. Then the sleet comes in and thinks, you've had a bit of rain, so we'll give you a taste of something else.
Yeah.
Then the sun breaks out from the clouds. You're like, this is brilliant. And then before you know it, it's gone back away and it's pissing on you again. I mean,
Yeah.
you've had the crack here, like you've done it, you've experienced it. So I mean, I think mental resilience. Yes, we've all got it. I mean, how can you train for it? You can't. I mean, there's nothing that you can eat that will make you more mentally resilient. It's just about just getting through the shit. I always say it's one step at a time. It's one day at a time. It's one moment at a time.
So what would you have taken away from the experience?
From Pathfinders?
Yeah.
Well, I'm fit.
Mm-hmm.
I can put my body through shit. That's absolutely what I'd take through that. I mean, it's no mean feat. The selection process is horrendous in a sense. I'd probably say it's it's not as hard as 2 SES, obviously, but it would be second hardest selection out there. It's you're putting your body. The first week is and it rolls into the next week as well. But the first week is you're in classrooms. You're doing the PF Express. You're doing the 8-mile tab, which is the SF route as well, which again is disgusting.
Yeah.
You're doing the Brecon 2-miler. You're doing the swim test. You fail one of them. You've got another chance to pass it. Failing that, that's you gone. The 8-mile tab, you're gone. You need to pass the 2-miler you can get away with. You've got the 5-miler. You've got the 10-miler that you need to pass.
There's not a lot of rest then in between these sort of evolutions of.
It's up to 4 weeks, mate. Once you've done that, you then go into SOP week. Wrong. No, I'm talking shit. You go into Hills Week, which is 5 DS-led marches and then 5 marches that you need to complete on your own.
Yeah. So is that point to point, is it? Point to point for the march?
Yeah. Points on it. You've got endurance at the end as well. So it's significant, yeah.
Right.
It's it's definitely up there. You then go from that to you have a day off. They treat you to a day off, but the DS let you know that in my time you didn't get a day off. So it's on games, brilliant. And just because you've passed endurance, doesn't mean that it's easy from here on. You've got an hard one coming up. Blah blah blah. You go from that to SOP week, which is it's SOP week / OP week. You do that. You get thrashed at the end of that of a mini exercise. I mean, thrashed as well.
Yeah.
And then you then go into their range week, which is a really good package. Momentum kind of comes down, which is good, and you're just doing everything that an infantry soldier wants to do, which is getting shitloads of rounds off.
Yeah, 100%. And I think I've seen some of it because obviously, I think with us, as in our British Army, we're a lot less sort of like units like that. There are a lot less. You can find less stuff online with them, whereas obviously the Americans flipping it's saturated. But sort of the old sort of recruiting type video for PF. I think you sort of seen the range. I think it's like D range or something down Brecon. We've got the guy in the old DPM. He's got the DeMarco. I think he's carrying some over his shoulder and he's turning around. So looking at all that sort of stuff, what you're right there and saying is for everything you get out of it. And that's trying to tell other people as well is like whatever happens on things, it's about looking at the positive side rather than the negative. And what you're saying there, you have loads of range time. It's telling you that you're obviously a fit soldier to get through and as far as you did through the course itself. But yeah, I would love actually speaking with PF because I know a few guys in it is to get down and video them. Not for me, but like to just do like a film for them. I find that the army media they're a little bit cheesy in my eyes, and you want that sort of something like that there, some nitty gritty, just embedding with them, and getting that sort of footage. Obviously, no chance with the other sort of the 3 main hitters in that sort of community.
Yeah.
But someone there anyway. What I want to do is just jump back into sort of comments because I lost a few there. There was a few there which caught looking at my eye and it just dropped down. There was one there saying we're watching SAS Who Dares Wins tonight. So I don't really watch it. So I've never been for 2-2 selection. I did try SRR. Obviously was not successful because I'm sitting here right now. But with that sort of SAS there wins, I feel like it's not. They try and sell it where it's exactly how it is, and these civilians would be the ones who get free. Oh yeah, I would have them in the unit any day. It can't be. It cannot be the same. Obviously, I get that maybe they're having little snippets out of the tests, but the whole experience, like, I think it sells it wrong to the civilian population.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where especially if they see someone like Dave, the flipping painter and decorator, by day, and then suddenly it comes into the program and passes, that like, he must be on the same level as an actual blade. So whoever that was, sorry, missed it. Who was asking about that? No, I won't be watching it. The one thing I did notice on your Smudge, your live Instagram feed earlier on, was the what I want to bring us in a bit of discussion was someone was asking about our girl.
Yeah.
So I just sort of caught it before I came off to try and get the stream working. But so the conversation I want to bring in about that there is British sort of TV and the way they portray the army. So differently to what sort of the American, because you've got obviously Lone Survivor, Act of Valor, all these big massive and how they portray their forces. In your opinion then, in what way, because I think it's flipping shit, in what way sort of TV programmes, I think, what's the 221 about the siege, the Iranian embassy, 7 days, is it? I think that's been the best one we've seen. Yeah, portraying us as a forces. Like, what about yourself in regards to TV?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of people ask me actually, what type of war films you watch and all that good stuff. I'm not a big man that watches that type of thing. I mean, I do a lot on YouTube, mate, if I'm honest with you. I mean, that Art Girl, I only watched that because the missus watched it. And while she was watching it, then said, "Is this true?" I'm like, "No, Kate, it's not. It's not true. And this is nothing like service life, really."
Yeah.
Some things are like, okay, but, no, absolutely not. And yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Art Girl from part of it. What I saw, I was disgusted, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, mate, I don't. I've watched the old Saving Private Ryan classic, obviously. Yeah. But other than that, mate, no, I don't really watch much, to be fair. But I'm quite boring.
Yeah. Nah, because just as you're saying about the R Girl, I think it was last week. Excuse me. I was down with the missus and she watches it because she's really. I keep forgetting the girl's name. The girl who used to be in Coronation Street. She's like the main character.
Yeah, I can't remember her name either.
Yeah, so I was watching it with her and I was like, it was making me angry, and I was like, she was laughing at me, videoing me, and I was going like, this is like not real. It's like, so you have like, she's a med sergeant, obviously, in the med corps, and like she's in briefings with like flipping generals and the guy who's trying to like pretend he's a blade. She's like having an opinion on what way the mission should go. They're like going on a missions with like SAS to like hit these sort of targets, and then all of a sudden there's a girl, one of the sort of ones they're after's wife is in labour, so they're having to sort of give this girl a birth while the sort of terrorists are, it's crazy, and I was cringing the whole way through it, and I 100% hate it. It's no betrayal of the sort of forces, and it's just wrong. There we go. Michelle Keegan, yep, good looking girl to watch, but not portraying the army because it's completely balls.
Yeah, agreed.
Young Soldiers is quite a good documentary about joining the army. I think I may have seen that. I don't know, because I have seen quite a few things. There was a documentary being negative towards us as a country, and sort of saying that we're having these child soldiers, obviously alluding to sort of Harrogate and stuff. Totally against that there, because I think it, like you were saying at the start, and the why you join, why I join, it gives people who may have like messed it up at the start a good shot at life again, and to make something of it. So whoever that was, sorry, it keeps on flicking up and down there. I'm not fast enough to catch it. So what I'll do, so while that's picking up now, what I want to do is just jump on to a few of these sort of Instagram questions. See y'all. Flip me. These have multiplied. Right, so so Michael, so he's asked, so this is a kit question.
Yeah.
So what's the flipping jacket? I can never pronounce it. Kathrina? It's not.
Keela, mate.
No. So not the other one, the fancy one,
Which one?
the MiG.
Oh, Corinthia.
Corinthia, that's the one. Yeah. So a Corinthia MiG 3.0 or a Kilo Belay.
So the Kilo Belay is waterproof and a warm jacket all in one. So it's completely different to the Corinthia 3.0. So in short, which one would I pick? Well, okay. If I'm honest with you, I would pick the Kilo Belay. Reason being is it offers me warmth down to -20, and also it's a waterproof jacket as well. The Corinthia is a gleaming jacket.
Yeah.
It's highly water resistant, but it just doesn't quite cut the mustard when you've been out, in an hour's torrential rain. It's going to come through. So yeah, I'd pick the Kilo in that sense.
Yeah. Okay. Happy days. There you go, Michael. So another one, definitely going to be towards you because it's all sort of kit related. Thoughts on Virtus kit and what to change out and replace with better stuff, and any recommendations? He's not saying specific parts of Virtus. He's just sort of saying Virtus. I'm gonna say he's on about sort of battle kit, and that's Jim Watson.
I mean, where do I start? So listen, right. Parts of the Virtus is really good. What I want to say about the Virtus is, whoever thought about Virtus, they should pin a brooch on it, because the actual thought of what Virtus is awesome, but the way it's been implemented and put together, well, that person should be shot, because it just there are areas of it that just aren't right. I mean, the actual belt itself, the idea of the belt, the Molly system is really good.
Yeah.
The incorporation of it is really good. The pouches, some of them are in my opinion, are wanting. As an example now, the man pouches I think are great. I think they're fit for purpose. The pop stud's really good. The Velcro's really good. Fine, happy with that. The quick release ones with the bungee cords, I'd probably say they could be a bit better in my opinion. But other than that, I think the belt itself needs to be redesigned.
Yeah.
The buckle, you could put on a Palmer Cobra buckle there. It'd be a lot better.
Yeah.
It hooks in nicely. It's a lot better in that sense. I mean, in a sense, we're opening up a bit of a can of worms here, because I could go quite on about the kit here in terms of the kit, in terms of the entirety of it. I mean, it's really, some of the kit's good, some of the kit's not so good, and I wouldn't wear it.
Yeah. No,
well, I would wear it if I had to. But choice, I wouldn't know.
They've got the good intentions, but they're not fully there yet.
It just, what I find is what needs to happen is they need to place people in a room that know about the kit, and I would say infantry soldiers, and have it specific to certain people made.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you, because I have noticed that the Marines, they've sort of they've chinned it off, haven't they? They've completely they look to be like they're sort of reinventing themselves. I can see a lot of them now wearing Ops Corps helmets, and maybe you'll like this. I don't know what their body armor is. It's definitely not Virtus. Some sort of plate carrier. I don't know the name of it, but they seem to have chinned it off, because it's not their specialised unit. It's more their sort of commando brigades that are doing that. So do you know the sort of type of body armor and stuff it is?
No, I don't. I'm not aware of what the body armor is. Hey, can you shut the door, please?
I think it looks the same as Americans, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the body armor is. I haven't heard the full ins and outs yet, to be fair, if I'm honest with you. Nor have I really in relation to the, I've heard little bits of snippets of the type of kit that they're getting. Montaigne, I've heard for combats, which, I mean, you can't complain about that, can you? Montaigne's like an awesome bit of kit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Then, because it said, I don't know where that's. What would you be sort of thinking? So if Revision, who are the ones who are making the Virtus, they're the sort of kit company behind our helmets at the minute, going towards that sort of higher cut sort of helmet? Yeah,
do you know what? The Virtus helmet is fine. Yeah. I've not got a problem with the Virtus helmet. There are certain things that I would change with it. For example, the modifications I've made now to the Virtus helmet, you've got a removable helmet cover. I think that's gleaming.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I think that's a great idea. Absolutely. There are certain things that I would I think that they should change with the with the actual, like, in relation to certain things on there. I think that the brackets themselves on the sides, the Picatinny rail, I think needs to be bigger. Should incorporate having ear def on there as well. Ear def's massive for a soldier. I think you agree with that. But incorporating that then with the electronical earpiece would be good. Yes, I know they've brought out the I'm trying to think what they're called now, but the ones that you can pop in that goes directly into the PRR. Yeah, the FEPs, that's it, mate. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people get on with them.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they're not built for quality for it's in the actual system itself. I think they're quite sort of especially the bit that goes around your ear.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very robust, like 100% sort of pelters all the way. So back on Instagram then. So there was another one there I thought was an interesting question. So this one, where's Tim? So you'll know Tim, big on Instagram with all the sort of military content. So Tim Moore on 198. So big Instagram account. We all know Tim. He sort of posts up loads of military tribute pictures daily, multiple times daily. So to you then, Smudge mate, what's the most indispensable bit of kit that you've bought?
Indispensable bit of kit. Bloody hell! I mean, that's yeah. I've had to lean back now in my chair to think about this one, mate. Indispensable bit of kit. Do you know? I don't actually know, mate. If I'm honest with you, I have that much kick, that much kit.
Yeah.
I would say it was probably a good toss-up between my Arc'teryx Gore-Tex and my
big and deep here.
And my Mystery Ranch Bergen, or is it? Yeah, my Mystery Ranch Bergen. Yeah, I think between those two items, mate. And I'd probably lean more towards and I love my Gore-Tex, but I'd probably say my Bergen, because that Mystery Ranch Bergen is an unreal bit of kit, mate.
Okay,
it's top notch. But I suppose you'd say that's the case because I've spent £1,000 on it. So
yeah. Well, and then people. So just as you're alluding to there, people may go, "Flip me! Why are you all spending this amount of money on kit and equipment whenever we're issuing it to you for free?" But what I always say back to people who are like that there, talking about people spending money on kit and equipment, is it's like a trade. So being in the infantry is our trade. So like all the other trades in the army, but like outside of the army, so civilian street, painter, decorators, joiners, bricklayers, they're all going to invest in their job, invest in their trade, and get the best tools, because there's going to be the cheaper paintbrushes. There's going to be the dearer paintbrushes. And with the organisation, it has to obviously make good quality kit that's safe and can do the job, but they also have to make it in bulk. So I think that they're going to lose in quality there. And if you've got soldiers who are investing their own wage back into the organisation by buying their kit, I think it's a good thing now. Definitely with us then, like we're with it. RSM wise, like when we're outside of camp, so on exercise, in operations, if we're under our own sort of headquarters, as long as it's good quality stuff, the sort of stuff that you review, it's fine for people to wear. Obviously, not flipping £20 day sacks that are designed for not sort of arduous stuff. That would be a no-no. But yeah, I'm fully behind it, and you're right what you're saying there. Back into the Instagram. In fact, sorry Instagram, I'm going to put you down because I want to go through these again. I need to look back at the camera. So, okay, so we've got a few people coming back to his reference. I believe the when I was saying about the Marines body armour, so CTR plate carriers is what they're wearing.
Decent, mate.
Decent, and I have heard CTR. So one of our guys has their helmet cover, which is so CTR do a helmet cover which is sort of not designed, but made to fit the Virtus helmet, and it looks really, really good. I think I've got a picture of one of them on my Instagram.
Yeah.
People keep asking about that. It's not me. It's the guy that the guy who's wearing it is probably our version. of you. Absolute mountains of, really go to depth with it. CTR do a good one. So there's stuff there about. There's nothing much. There's a question about feet. Are you replying as well? Typing?
No, I'm not, mate. No,
Right,
I was just
I'm going to do it here.
Sure.
So, no, it's fine. I can hear you. So, to use that on the comments, what I'm going to do at the same time, I'm going to reply to you on the keyboard as well as speaking to Smudge here, because we've got those here piling through now, more now than they were earlier on Instagram. Okay, so so this has come from Military Kit and Posts on Instagram, and it's, have you heard of the Mark II Tantalus smock? That's new.
Tantalus.
I've never heard of that. So Tantalus.
Afraid not. No, I've not heard of a Tantalus smock. No.
Neither.
No, there are. I mean, there are bits of kit that I don't hear of. I mean, for example, I was never aware of Plat Attack, and then when I was rudely shown what Plat Attack is, and I say rudely because it's not rudely, I'm just waffling shit. But when I was basically pointing to Plat Attack, I was like, bloody hell, where's that been in my life?
Yeah.
So there is kit that I'm not aware of. But when I find it, mate, I'm on it.
So I've got one here this is from a boss. So if you could only buy one piece of kit and the rest had to be issued, what would you buy?
Who's this from, sorry?
So this is a boss, this is an officer.
Oh, is it? How do you know that?
I'm not going to name him because he's one of mine.
Okay. So if I was what?
So he's asking, so if you could buy one piece of kit and the rest of your kit had to be issued, what would you buy? So you're only allowed to buy one piece of kit and everything else has to be issued.
Do you know, that's a good question. It's difficult, that, as well. What would it be? Do you know what? It would be my webbing, because I think as good as the PLC was, and it was good, and I can remember my first set of PLC webbing, and I was able to clearly put a nice hippo pad in there. You'll know as well, and baster it up and spray paint it up and all that good stuff. It would be a set of webbing, or shooter's belt for that matter, depending on what I'm doing. Like you know. I mean, there's obviously clearly a big difference between either a shooter's belt, a normal set of tailored webbing, or a bloody. I'm trying to think of the word. I've just lost it now. A battle belt for that matter.
Yeah.
So it'd be a set of webbing, 100%. I think it's unique for an infantry soldier to have a good set of webbing. That's what you fight out of. It's so important.
Yeah, no, 100%. And so on webbing, then what are you going for? JJ's?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? A lot of people think that I'm not. I don't know if a lot of people think I'm in bed with JJ's, but I've had a set of JJ's webbing since 2008 when I was on juniors. And it's a great set of webbing, mate. I've tested other sets of webbing, but I'd go for JJ's. I've had it. It's, I like it. It's a lifetime guarantee, and I'd go for a set of JJ's webbing.
Right, yeah.
Or their shooter's belt, mate, because I've got the shooter's belt now, and that's an unbelievable bit of kit.
So who makes that there then? What company makes that? Is that JJ's as well?
So
is it?
JJ's make the shooter belt as well, yeah.
Okay. Is that so? I'm trying to flip back. Is that the shooter belt with its laser cut?
Yes, it's coming up in a review soon. I've done so I've not done the review of the JJ's one specifically, but it's in a review. Is it in a review? Or am I talking? No, it's not yet, but it will be.
Yeah.
I'm doing a review on my personal setup, shooter's belt and plate carrier. What I'd wear.
When can we see that? When's that going to be live on
YouTube
or Instagram?
Yeah, that'll be out this week on YouTube. It'll be Instagram on pictures, obviously.
Right, got you. Back into, so I want to keep flicking back in these comments. How long did it take you both to get through your first? Oh, here we go. That's a good one. So from Nathan, good question, Nathan. So how long did it take to get you both to get your first promotions?
4 years for me.
4 years.
Yeah.
I think I remember it the same. So let's call.
Yeah. I mean, mine was the time, mate, where you people that were cutting about that were like a year to promotion to Landshack. It was, everyone was old. You had to learn your trade. 4 years private soldier, Landshack.
Yeah.
When I got 4 years of Landshack, I promoted to corporal in my first year.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's fast. That's good there.
Yeah, that was fast. That went fast.
Yeah.
Then again, same thing. Sergeant. I got bus, mate. But I went on seniors in 2015.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've caught up now in time. I'm basically where I should be.
Yeah. What's your favourite rank?
What's my favourite rank?
What's your most favourite? I have to keep looking back. You're looking inside my face. Full screw? Yeah, probably the same.
Agreed.
So there's another one banged in there. So I was roughly the same there with Lance Corporal. I can't exactly remember, but I had a wobble at Lance Corporal, and I remember saying I didn't want to do it. I was trying to get off it and everything. There was a good platoon commander who's now in OC at the time, who sort of taught me through it and got me back one. But I think back then as well, I do believe like sort of NCO quarters and probably and all the sort of career courses within the infantry was crazy. It was more sort of get on the course, show you've got the capability, get on the course, and then just survive. It's not like that nowadays, because I've just had, I think we've now ran one up in Edinburgh with the sort of Scots Regiment and Royal Welsh, because we're in that sort of brigade, Scottish Welsh and Irish division, and it seems pretty much like like the Duke of Edinburgh award scheme. Apologise for any Lance Corporals that may be watching now, but definitely with our sort of brigade, because it's now they've changed it where it's now in a what's the word for it? Not a term, but it's in parts. So if you can go on to certain parts, and if you feel a part, you can go way back to your unit, and you just have to come back.
So everybody's doing that.
Oh, is everyone doing that now?
It's
right.
Not just like your division. It's right. So I'm trying to think who runs it now. I think it's part of the School of Infantry. I think the School of Infantry own it as a whole, and they put out the syllabus for each division, and it's everything's like syllabus run. So if you'll find somebody will fail certain things, they'll be able to come back from that week and carry on.
Got you. Right, jump back in. Mr. Wellesley, how close you come out SRR? Yeah, so SR, I went twice for SR selection. Main driving factor to go towards that, it's just because I like that sort of style stuff that we're doing. First time I went, it was about 2013 or 14. I can't remember, it was when I was a Lance Corporal. And to be honest, complete lizard, did not train correctly. I thought in my head, SF selection, I needed to go into the gym and just squat and lift weights, and then cardio would be fine. Totally neglected Bergen fitness and came off in the CFT. So I would not even count that, but that counts as an official try. Second time then, I went down, and it was literally like the third or fourth day. So done all the main sort of tests that you do to get in. So it was a PFA, I think it was under, it's either sub 9 or sub 930, can't remember. Press up, sit ups, rigidly done. And then SF CFT down in Sennybridge, the one you run on a bit earlier on, Smudge.
Yeah.
Swim test, map reading test. So they're all your sort of ones that it's just pass or fail. If you mess them up, you're gone straight away. Done. And then you go into the sort of the beat up as such. And it was a tab. It was on a road. It was just flipping up at stupid o'clock in the morning. Not going to go too much into the way it was, but I kept going. I was looking at the Bergen in front of me, and that Bergen in front of me just kept getting further and further away. And my little legs just could not take me at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then it came off. I was completely gutted. It really did flip in, hit me hard, because it was just off the back of ITC Catrick. I was there for 2 years, so I had that sort of good pace of life in a training establishment.
Yeah.
You weren't getting paid, pulled left, right, and centre to go on things you didn't know were coming up. So you could plan out your life, train correctly, and all that sort of stuff. Now the positive side of that I took away from it, they actually ran a 6-week pre-course in the summer before that selection, which I gained a lot of experience out of, with nav and fizz and everything out of there. So it did take away stuff from it. No, I did not get in because I'm also sitting here. Let me go down here where we're going now. So. Right, so this is what countries not reasons. So I'll work with this is both of us. So what's the best, and you can elaborate more as well on this because you've all done a lot more than what I have with this. So what countries military have you worked with, and which is your favourite? Oh, but I gotta say an American, because that's the most I've worked with. I haven't really worked. I've worked with a few Europeans. There's like French army. I think that's pretty much it with other militaries for me. What about yourself? Because you're in a different situation.
Yeah, I've worked with a few, mate. I have worked with a few militaries in countries. I haven't worked with the French.
Yeah.
I've worked with Kenyan military.
Yeah.
I've worked with Americans. I've worked with Danes from like your likes of your ISAF days in Iraq.
Yeah.
Who else have I worked with? Germans. I think that's about it. I think Canadians. I think that's about it off the top of my head, mate, without thinking too long. But yeah, I've worked with quite a few. And the best ones that I've worked with, I don't know. They're all good in their own right. I mean, it's very difficult to say who's better. I'd say that the Americans and the Canadians are definitely up there.
Yeah,
they are definitely up there, and that's not knocking anybody else. But I find that there's a tier one in the sense of militaries. Do you know what I mean, around the world?
Yeah.
And I would definitely put the Americans up there in relation to a tier one army. The Canadians would probably be a high tier two, tier one. And obviously, definitely the British Army's up there as a tier one. There's no doubt about that in relation to some of the blokes that are in there and serving. But yeah, that's about it really. To be honest,
yeah, no, cool. Back in I think both. So, did you ever consider a different corps, or instead of the infantry? So I'll take that throughout the whole career. So no, you've already said about going straight in the infantry. Nah, I can't see you wanting to go anywhere else bar the where you're at.
You're right, mate. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I didn't think anything else other than this, mate. Yeah. That's all. And I'll let you into a secret. The regiment I was joining was actually infantry. Was actually Paras.
It's actually what? Sorry.
Paras, mate.
Paras. There we go. Happy days. Yeah. I'll give you another secret, which is not Ali, the same as yours is. So. Back to this sort of, I think I've probably discussed this before whenever our last road chat. Whenever I did tribes, so this is to you, I just missed it, someone Chapman. So Jennifer Chapman, whenever I was joining up, so if you missed that story, I had no intentions going to the army. So the recruiter basically he was the sort of, he could take me and send me wherever he wanted to send me. All I had in my head was I had no sort of idea what the army was about. I just wanted stuff from the army. So I just thought loads of just getting amongst sort of like equipment, vehicles and whatnot. So I actually entered into the army via the RLC. That's right, you heard it right here. The RLC it was sold to me as a driver radar. This is so good, this job. You'll drive vehicles. You'll be on the sort of communication system, and you'll be so important to the battlefield. I went to Pirbright, done my 14 weeks basic training, passed out. Went to Deep Cut, and yeah, it was shocking. Don't know if it's changed now. I don't want to put the sort of different course down. I absolutely hated it. Applied for transfer. Had to go to Catterick to do a sort of 14-day assessment as such. They said yes, you can come into the infantry and up to Catterick, and then back into Catterick into training again to do another round of training. So yes, So no, I wouldn't change corps now, but yes, that was my start. Smudge was wanting to go Paris first. I ended up in the RLC.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
Let's just put that out there, guys.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to do a job, but there's levels of banter. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. This is I knew this was going to pop up. So, what's your thoughts on the RAF regiment? Lots of people hate them and call them toy soldiers. So I think it's like you're saying there. We just said about there's lots of banter towards regiments. I think this is just a history of banter between the RAF regiment, and I don't think it's. I don't know. It's not deep, is what people say it is. I think the whole big main thing was that video that went viral, 4 or 5 years ago, referenced the sort of 5 mile of death. Excuse me. And I think the sort of RAF regiment have just sort of had stick since then for that.
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
regards to a
Do
unit.
you know what? I didn't really know the RAF, mate, before that,
Yeah,
if I'm honest with you. And not being blasé or thick here, but I mean, I'm in the army. I
yeah,
know who the Marine Commandos are because they have it's like the parachute regiment. They've got something about them, haven't they? They've got an
yeah,
ethos, and
yeah,
you know who these regiments are. But I never knew who the RAF regiment were.
yeah.
So actually, I mean, yeah, I didn't really care. But when that came out, and then people spoke about it, and the big three came out, and all that, then obviously you kind of do know who the RAF regiment is.
Yeah. So it's had like a different effect, hasn't it? So people would say that sort of video where everyone was sort of ripping into has had a different effect, like I said. It's came on and now people actually know who they are. But they have had some really good sort of recruitment videos, which I have noticed. There's definitely one where they've come off the back of a Chinook, and it's sort of high production value. I haven't really worked in depth with them to give any more information on them, but like you're saying, 100% they've got the sort of ethos and stuff behind them. Um, so what's the main differences? Well, sorry guys, jumping back into these sort of comments. So David Curry, what's the main differences between Royal Irish Regiment and Irish Guards? Have you ever worked with the Guards? Yeah, so you've answered it there yourself. So we're both infantry regiments. One's the Guards, and we're not. So the only difference is with them is they will take on that sort of the duties down towards London and do all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to doing the job, um, they're the same. They're an infantry regiment. I think they're light robot is the only difference, whereas we're light protected mobility. Um, so I'll give you one Instagram when I'm reading through that because I'm not really good at doing sort of two things at once.
Yeah.
Not really. So Tom Winters Barbers. Do you know this on Instagram? Do you?
Go on.
So Tom Winters Barbers. I know this. So he's ex-Royal Irish. He left and went to the medics. And done the sort of what's that called? Flipping Black Serpent.
Yeah.
Mac. So he said he still owes me £200 from back in the day.
Right. Okay.
Can you remember this or know what this is, or is this just a wind up? So
I owe somebody £200.
Pines, you know the shitty cigarettes you get in Afghanistan.
I
Pines.
don't know. No. What's this on? What's this on Instagram?
Yeah. So Tom Winters Barbers. He is. He's called Mac. He used to be, and he's out now. So he's a barber, and one of them really sort of high class barbers now. So I don't know, he's just having a laugh. But
No.
he's got a laughing face beside it as well.
Yeah. No, I've never heard of this. Like.
Right, sort of scene. No, doesn't know any binds. You
Yeah.
don't smoke anyway. Are you an ex-smoker?
I am an ex-smoker,
Yeah,
mate.
right.
It's interesting that he says that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I quit smoking in 2009.
Right, yeah, no, that was too. Yeah, he was Black Serpent medic, but it was after that. So what have you done? So this is from Stereo Comedian, I think that says. What have you done, or have you done anything to improve the issue kit? So any sort of tailoring as such?
So I've done nothing to improve the issue kit, so to speak. Not with the army,
Yeah.
but like everything, there are things that you do yourself naturally.
Yeah.
So like, look at the PLC Bergen, great Bergen.
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny at the time, isn't it? Because it's the old typical saying, you never realise what you've got until it's gone, or
Yeah.
the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So, people did whinge about the PLC Bergen. Not a lot of people. And actually, looking back on it, it is a really good Bergen. I've still got one. I took one to selection with me.
Yeah.
Now, what did I do to improve that? Well, I had it tailored. So I had it JJ's tailored, and typical things that you always get with either JJ's or Dixie's Corner is the floating lid, is Molly put on it.
Yeah.
3 pouches at the bottom for utility pouches.
Yeah.
You've then got your typical poncho pouch, and then you've also got the jungle netting on the sides. It's typical, and you also have the decent padding that's put on it as well on the shoulders and on the back. But other than that, other than having certain things put on you, I've had my jungle shirt tailored up. Or I say my jungle shirt, but my infield shirt tailored up. Other than that, nothing really. It's typical buying stuff and reviewing it, and yeah.
My happy days. And you're right, I still got that Bergen. I haven't adapted onto the Virtus. Yeah. it's not for me. I don't think it's you can't fit a lot into it. I don't think.
Yeah,
Vertibird.
well, I mean, people have asked me to review it, and I'm going to review it, and I haven't. Honestly, now when I got issued that Bergen, I looked at it, and I've got these like big heavy duty plastic boxes.
Yeah.
I opened it up and I put it in there, and I haven't looked at it since somebody said, "Can you review it?" So
Yeah.
taking it out now and I'm looking at it, but yeah, I've generally not, I've not touched it since.
Yeah. I know. I'd be the same there with you. So, guys, what I'll do is I'm going to answer a few more, and then because I'm not going to zap any more of Smudge's time, which he's been so kind to donate to us tonight. We're hitting that sort of hour time now. So, just the last sort of standard issue smoke. Have you cut the wire? Standard issue smoke. You cut the wire lid. Yes, I have. Yeah. But the main one. So the other one then is just. This is a good one to finish off on, I think. So someone's asking. So global news clips. Have you ever been in gunfight situations? So what I'll take about that is just operations in general, experience. Like, let's go for, because you have plenty of operational experience as well. Smudge is just like one stick out thing that you've got within your sort of operational days. That one pick-up point for you, most memorable.
Most memorable one for me. Well, I've got two. One was from a small arms firefight that. The reason why I'm not mentioning this as my number one is because you know yourself, when you have big weapon systems, they're normally the most memorable ones. So most memorable one for me was Iraq 2009. Christmas Day was cancelled and we were going to have it the day after because we were doing a massive operation on a corrupt police headquarters, and we blew the police headquarters up. We put 30 mil into their stag positions. I mean, it was a great day, mate. And that's the most memorable operation I've done operationally.
Right. So, Iraq, that's a good one there, because I haven't actually been to Iraq itself. So my one then, mine's reverting to Afghanistan, which was 2008, which was my very first tour. There's a few in there. But my most standout time then was we were going down to the platoon house. What do you call that vehicle the pirates have? It's like the CQMSs have them. Pins car. Pins car, like sort of sick wheel thing. It was going to platoon house. It sort of fell over in a wadi, tipped over, and the recover mechs had to come down and get that out. We had to go out and push a cordon round there to allow them to come down from Sangin DC to pull them out. While that was happening, so it was about 24 hours. So all through the day, all through the night, at a particular area. Not letting.
So what was this?
Herrick 8. So 2008 in Sangam.
Yeah.
So we were there, so it was me, I was only a ranger, I think it was a rifle. There's about 4 or 5 of us, and our search commander, who was a Fijian, massive flipping man mountain. There's just one farmer kept wanting to come to us, and he kept saying to us that, we need to get through because his sort of his field that he needed to tend to was where I needed to go. And where we were sitting is, you'll know, so in the where the sort of flipping little rat runs are in between all the compounds, the sort of little sort of pathways and stuff. So we're in there, and it was a closed over sort of area. So we're all sitting there, and this guy kept coming through. We're like, no, we can't come in. He kept it all day, so we felt bad for him, searched him, and then let him come through. So he came through us, and he was the only one allowed to come through, and there wasn't a lot of people coming through anyway. And so he kept coming in and out of us all day. So it was getting towards the end of the afternoon, and you'll know the sort of the sun is at its highest point, and it was completely sort of wiping us out with the heat. Everyone's getting tired, and I'm pretty sure everyone. So it felt to me like my eyes were sort of closing over. And that sort of the standard sort of Afghan patrol position where everyone sort of sits back on top of all their sort of heavy kit, and you sort of watch your arcs. It felt like my eyes were sort of going over. They closed up and opened up. I thought it was only for a couple of seconds. It must have been longer. It would have happened to everyone at the same time, because the flipping force, it just felt like people were punching in and around me. The wind, everything flying by, and what had happened was, it was definitely this guy. He must have been coming in and out, seeing that we were getting fucking just tired. I went away and got a weapon system, came back, and the compound wall we were leaning up against, there's only a section of us, and back then it wasn't a lot of recruitment, so there's like 5 or 6 of us in that section. He opened the sort of compound door, the wee sort of bamboo sort of gate opened up, stepped out and just a full flipping, held the trigger in, AK-47, and just flipping fired. This is like 5 meters away, if not closer. And so not one round, the ECM took one round, so the guy picked up the ECM and everyone just took cover. Not one person got wounded on that sort of thing. We got up and the whole shock of it, our section commander, Big Sam Virginia, he ran after him, try and get him. The guy, you know yourself, they disappear, they're like flipping ninjas. But like that day, I was like, nothing happened during then. That happened. We all went to, normal business, got all that recovered, went back to the wagon. We're all having a bang, speaking to each other, and like I was saying to them, like, I swear to God, there is some different being who's over watching us, because that should not, like, someone had to have got hit. That was completely like that can't not have happened. How close they were. Like, was an AK-47 hole? Was it like 30 odd rounds, or is it more?
Yeah, 30 rounds in it. Well, you get 60 round magazines, can't you?
Yeah. So yeah, full rapid fire, nothing hit. So that would be my pick out experience there. Whoever asked that, thank you much. Good question. So I think we're going to start to close it down then, everyone, because we've just crossed that sort of. We've actually crossed it very well. The sort of hour mark. Don't take any more of your time. You've kindly donated to Smudge. So for everyone who's joined in tonight, thank you very much. Come back to this camera because I'm looking at 3 different screens. Thank you very much for joining in. If it's something you've liked, the sort of live stream, hopefully bring it in sort of one time a week. Aim around the sort of start of the week. Hopefully I'll get the sort of technical issues squared by the time before it goes live for the next one. Thank you very much as ever for all your sort of likes and subscribes, because there has been a few of yous, and your comments. And for anyone that's come over from Smudge's community, thank you too. And the main thank you goes to you, Smudge. Thank you very much for donating an hour and 11 minutes of your time.
My pleasure.
Especially giving us your experiences, because I know there's a few of you have been jumping in the comments, which will take something away from that, especially with your experience operations and kit and your experiences on arduous courses, should I say. So yes, so what I'll do, let's make sure I don't get this wrong. So to you, audience who just come in, thank you very much. Please jump in the comments section and you can connect with both of us on Instagram. You can get all Smudge's stuff via the description on this video. So any more questions that may have not answered on this live stream, please find both of us on Instagram or YouTube. Instagram being more DM side of things, and we'll answer them up. So for me, that's thank you very much. I'll hand over to Smudge to end that while I jump into the other broadcasting system.
Yeah, lovely. Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me on, guys. For those questions that haven't been answered, apologies on that. You know how it is. You start chatting to somebody and you get into the thick of it. But thanks very much for jumping on. We'll probably look at doing this again and talking and answer a few more questions of the people that have come on and maybe have it more of a podcast next time and and all that stuff. But it's been great. Thanks very much for having me on tonight, and we'll do it again.
Brilliant. Thanks, Smudge, and thanks to you, and I will see you again next week, hopefully.